Hi, everyone, and welcome to Sociology 111 Social Problems for the Summer Session of 2026. If we haven't met before now, my name is Dr. Dombrowski, and I'm a visiting professor of criminal justice here at Canisius University, as well as the program director for the criminal justice major beginning this fall. So I wanted to welcome you to our class and talk a little bit about the expectations and the syllabus that is posted on D12 for you. So a little bit about me, if we've never met before. I'm an alumni of Canisius University and graduated with my bachelor's in a dual major of psychology and criminal justice with a minor in forensic psychology back when they very first started offering that. And also, I have a background of biology and chemistry from some of my first years at Canisius. So I'm a little bit all over the place. I have a master's degree from Buffalo State University, which is just right down the street if you're not from Buffalo. And that is in criminal justice, where I focused on white collar crime investigation, narcotics investigation, organized crime investigation, and juvenile justice. And then I later went on to become a treatment provider in the rehabilitation section of our criminal justice system, working with a local agency and being contracted by the Federal Bureau of Prisons to do pretrial assessments for people who had been awaiting federal charges. And that led me to become interested in doing a PhD in psychology, where I went to the University of Buffalo, SUNY at Buffalo, to do that, and recently completed all of my studies and defended my dissertation successfully. So I am a research and teaching psychologist after 20 years of being a mental health, substance use, and trauma informed counselor. So I'm not in clinical practice right now at this moment. My focus is more on research and teaching, but I have all kinds of experience all over the spectrum, no matter where you fall in your interest in criminal justice. So I did post in D12 a copy of my curriculum vitae and my resume. I always post that for students in case they're interested in learning about ways to get your foot in the door, or different internships that you can do, or things that you can do in the criminal justice system that may not necessarily be involved in law enforcement. So as we progress through our very fast class during this first summer session, if anything piques your interest or you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I will be checking my email daily. And if you need to meet with me via Zoom, we have that option to do that as well, or Microsoft Teams or FaceTime. I'm happy to help you with any of the questions that you might have, or different classes you might be interested in, or knowing which path to take. So remember, I'm here to help, and it's not something to be shy about. When you're at the university level, professors are expecting you to reach out to us and ask us questions. That's why we're here. And if you are new to the university experience, you may not be used to doing that. So please don't be shy. Know that we are here to help, and we're happy to do so. And if I'm unable to help, then I will definitely do my best to find someone who can answer the questions that we both have. So definitely reach out. One of the best things I did at Canisius was build my network early, and I continue to build it often. It is the best advice that I can give you, because Canisius alumni are everywhere. So many of us worldwide, not just here in Western New York, but everywhere. And we love to help current students. We love to help other alumni. So chances are, if I don't have the answer to your question, someone that I know may have the answer to your question. So um, with that said, you'll get to know me more over the videos that I present in the class, and hopefully I will see you on campus in the fall semester, in other classes maybe that I teach. It's always nice to see students in person, but Mine is good too, especially for the summer. I know people have other things that they're doing. So I want to still be present in the online class so that you know that there's a real person actually reading the stuff that you're writing and going through some of the topics with you that we will be covering. Um, I wanted to also just give you a little bit of information about some of my research interests outside of the criminal justice field. So, if you are new to me, you may not know that I am a four-time survivor of a really rare head and neck cancer, and part of the treatment required me to lose a quarter of my tongue, which is why I sound the way I sound. So students often tell me that the more time they spend with me, the more time they listen to me, the easier it gets to understand the speech impairment that I have. I want you guys to know that I've had a long time to adjust to it. It's been 15, going on 16 years. You're just meeting me, some of you. I know some of you already know me and you're kind of used to how I sound, and you can ask me questions. But I want you to know that if you ever need to have me clarify information, if you need me to repeat something or email it to you in a different way or present it in a totally different way, don't be shy. Please reach out to me and ask me to do that. I need accommodations to do a lot of different things because of issues I have due to all of my treatments. And I'm happy to think outside of the box and do any accommodations you may need if you're having a hard time understanding some of my speech. Excuse me. So you'll see as we do videos, all different kinds of head and neck cancer treatment issues that survivors live with for a really long time. Sometimes I open my mouth to speak and my voice doesn't work. Sometimes I just have random coughing attacks out of nowhere, and I'll be mid-sentence and then just have to hack up along and pause the video and come back. And when things calm down, all kinds of wacky stuff happens. So one of my research interests is figuring out how do head and neck cancer survivors live with these long-term side effects that a lot of people don't realize we go through and maintain a quality of life. So that's just another side interest that I have, in addition to the criminal justice research areas that I'm also interested in working on. So anyway, we still have time to get to know each other. So if that's enough about me for a moment, I just want to share my screen for a second to go over, just so you can hear it from me, what the requirements are for the class. So I'm going to pull up the section of the syllabus, which is labeled as our tentative course schedule. So remember, this is a summer class. It is only about 5 weeks. We are doing 15 weeks of work in 5 weeks. So I applaud you for joining me on this journey. I love teaching summer classes. The pace is just really fast. So you're going to want to check in on D2L in the class every day. You don't have to do all of the work in the week in the same day. You have from Monday, well, Tuesday, right? Because the class starts on Tuesday. But typically you would have from Monday to Sunday at 11:59 p.m. to do all of the work that is listed on D2L for the week. Now, you don't have to do it all in one day, but maybe you're, bored at home. It's a rainy day. There's really nothing to do. No one's trying to hang out. You don't have to work. You could sit and do everything in one day if you need to. I would say it's going to be easier to break it up if you can, just because of the amount of work that is going to be involved. And it's not so much writing papers or anything, which we'll talk about in a minute, but it's going to add up fast. So I would not wait until Sunday to start working on it. It will be really stressful if you do it that way. Your commitment to doing a summer class is admirable. I know I've taken many of them as a student myself, and I swear it felt like we worked harder in the shorter sessions than in the whole semester, just because of how compacted everything is and how intense some of the things are. So don't wait until the last minute would be my suggestion. Um, the syllabus is posted on D2L for you. So let me start by sharing the syllabus. All right. So when you see the syllabus, you're going to want to go to the course schedule. And this is where everything is laid out for you so that you know what you need to do in order to get the best grade in the class overall and for that week's work that is being done. So you see that I tried to make it into a chart, and it talks about the module that we're in. So the modules are broken up into weeks. So you'll see like week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5. The dates, and the dates will remind you of what Sunday all of the work for that week is due. So you see week 1, all assignments written in red for this week are due by Sunday, 5/31/26 at 11:59 p.m. And then the topics that we're going to be talking about are the introduction, how to get started, class materials, and what to expect from the class. So what you're going to want to do every week is make sure that this column all the way to the end that says readings and assignments, you've checked off every single thing in that column to know that you've done all of the work that's required for that week. So the first thing you're going to want to do is review the syllabus and maybe write the due dates down if you're like me and you still use a planner or a calendar, or put them in your phone. I don't know. I mean, I'm old. You guys are not all old. So I would say you probably do things in your phone, but I still need to physically write stuff down to remember. So, maybe that would be a way to do that. You're going to want to visit our course website on D2L, and I'll show you a little bit of that quickly before we end the video so you know where to find stuff for week number 1. You're going to want to make sure that you scroll down, right? Watching the instructor welcome video. Hi, that's this video. So you're done. You're right on point. And then you're going to see the different topics that we're talking about during this week. So we're going to have an introduction to the class. We're going to talk about training your sociological thinking, talked about theory, and talked about research methods. So that is a lot of stuff that we're going to be covering in the first week. After we do those basics, so starting next week, we're going to get into some of the issues of social problems. When you look to see what needs to be done in that next column, you're going to want to, for this week, make sure that you post your individual introduction to me, especially if it's our first time meeting. You will notice that you've been assigned to a small group. Now, this is going to be a big portion of your grade. The discussions that you have with your small group are going to be about the issues that we're talking about in the social problems class. Sociology is not just meant to be researched or theorized about. It's something that's meant to be discussed. Social problems are meant to be discussed, not only so we understand them, but also so that we brainstorm solutions and figure out who's responsible for making the changes. So to kind of facilitate the nature of a social problems class, I thought trying to break the big class up into smaller groups so you can have some discussions that I can also be a part of with you would be a really good way to do this. So you will notice that I asked you also to introduce yourself to your small group members. Groups are of about 4 or 5 students each, so they're not huge, but you're definitely going to want to make sure that you're participating and not forgetting to post in your small groups as indicated on the syllabus. This week, I will also be posting a couple of lecture videos. They'll probably go up tomorrow so that you have them and have plenty of time to do that. I'm going to ask you to just watch them. They're very brief, brief review of theories, brief review of research methods, and how sociologists think, just to kind of set the foundation for everything else that we're going to be doing in the class. If you scroll down in week 1 again, I'm also asking you to click on the link that's available for you, and I'm going to have you watch a video and listen to the video. You'll see it posted there, and I'll show you before I end this video. You're also going to post an individual discussion board with your reaction to the video that you watched. So the individual discussion boards also count toward your grade, a little bit less than the group discussions, but there are some topics that I want to hear from you just as an individual and be able to talk to you a little bit about some of those things too. You're also going to talk to each other, right? Because you know the online discussion boards, typically you will also respond to other classmates. So I'll have you do that as well. We want to keep the dialogue going. For every video I post, I will also post lecture slides that go along with them. So you'll be able to actually have those slides available to you. You will be taking quizzes during the class. There are 5 quizzes, so there's 1 quiz every week, which will be due by Sunday night at 11:59. You can use the PowerPoints. There is no required textbook for the class. I'm using a textbook to inform the class, and I put that contact information on the syllabus for you, but you do not have to purchase the book for this summer class. I will make sure that you have everything that you need in order to be able to master the material and be able to take the quizzes. So you shouldn't have to worry about that at all. Of course, if you want to buy the book, you're welcome to buy the book, but again, there is no pressure or requirement to do so. I'll make sure you have your PowerPoint slides. You'll also notice for this week, there is a second discussion board that I'm asking you to do as individuals. And it is called Learning to Ask Why. In this activity, I want you to start thinking like a sociologist. So there are some discussion prompts that you have to go in and just answer to the best of your ability. Remember, if you're using outside information that's not your original thinking, then you have to make sure you're telling me where that information is coming from. So you have to cite the source within your answer and do a reference at the bottom of your discussion board post. That's really important. If you are using ChatGPT, I'm going to tell you that you need to put the summary that ChatGPT gives you into your own words, and you have to cite ChatGPT as the source of the information. If you do not do this, we have 2 major problems. The first one is that it's plagiarism, and you do not want to have any academic integrity issues during your academic career at Canisius University. It can be as serious as being asked to leave the university if you are found plagiarizing. So it gets serious very quickly. The second reason, also serious, is that it's not your original thinking, and literally everybody in the class will hand in the same exact answer. That's how I know people are using ChatGPT. So you can either stay away from it completely and come up with your own original thinking and support it in other ways from other sources, whether it's class information or things that you've read, podcasts you've heard, documentaries you've seen, or use ChatGPT, summarize it in your own words, and cite that you had help from ChatGPT. So if I am concerned about your answers, if I'm not sure that it's your original thinking, I will reach out to you and we'll just, meet, talk about the search terms that you used, what you did, what your process was, just to help me understand a bit about how you came about the information. And then we can make any corrections that are necessary. I would prefer to handle it that way, as colleagues working together to resolve something, than to have to take it, to much higher channels and have some pretty bad things happen. ChatGPT is new to a lot of us, so we're still working on policies, we're still working on procedures. It is something that is very valuable in a lot of different ways, which is why I don't want to tell you to totally not use it. I would just rather have you use it in a way that is going to be beneficial and in a way that's done appropriately on an academic writing level. So, cite your sources. I would tell you by the end of 5 weeks, you're going to know my two things are build your network and cite your sources. I'm always, always saying those things to my students. So in this week, you're going to be doing lots of discussion board posts, and then there will be a very short quiz for you to take by Sunday, because we have a shorter week, with Monday being the holiday. And if you continue scrolling down, you see the same style. Everything is out there for you. Everything that we're going to be talking about, when the assignments are due, and every assignment that you need to make sure that you're handing in. So the class involves 5 individual discussion board posts. I think there are 6, if I'm thinking correctly off the top of my head, group discussions that you're going to be doing with each other. And then there are 5 quizzes that your grade is going to be based on. The 6th group discussion is really going to be asking you to solve a social problem together as a group. And that counts separately toward your grade, almost like a group project, if you will. But rather than handing in an actual project, you would just be having a discussion of what you would do. And I'll be chiming in my 2 cents, during the discussion period, and then grading the discussions at the end. And then the last thing you would do at the end of our semester session is a wrap-up assignment, which just is, asking you what you took away from the class and how you can apply some of that knowledge in your own communities. So your grade is really going to be based on how much you participate in your discussions, both with your group and your individual discussions that you and I will be having together in your discussion board threads. So if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me via email. You can text me. My phone number is on the syllabus. Sometimes I can respond to a text a little bit faster. You can tell me if people actually still call people. Just know that sometimes people have a hard time understanding me, especially on the phone. But I'm willing to give it a try if you'd rather just do a fast phone call. We could do a FaceTime even if you need to, just because then you can read my lips maybe a little bit while I'm speaking. But any way that you want to try to get in touch with me for questions, please feel free to, because I'm available. Like, I'm here for the duration of our class. So please don't be shy to reach out to me. I just want to stop the share for a second so that I can pull up our class in D2L here, just to show you the way around a little bit so that you know what's happening. Share my new screen here. Okay, so when you log in to D2L, you will be able to see our summer class under the My Courses tab. So you see Summer 2026, Sociology 111, Online Social Problems. So if you're new to D2L, if you're new to a learning management system, all you have to do is click on that. And then yours will look a little bit different as a student view. Going through mine as the instructor view, just to show you everything that you should be able to see once you log into your own D2L. So on the main landing page, you notice to the left when you're looking at the screen from your laptop or your computer, they are announcements. So anything that comes up, any issues that might be happening, if there's a problem with D2L, or if there's a problem with the quiz, or people have the same question, I will send out an announcement, which you should also get in email form. But you're going to want to make sure you're always checking the announcements for the class, because that's where the communication will happen. So you're going to want to pay attention to that section. If you go up to the toolbar on top and you go to the course home, next to it is content. If you click on content, it should look something like this. And along the left-hand side, you see that there is a table of contents, and it will show you the syllabus is there. It won't be hidden for you. You'll be able to see it. Instructor information will be there. And under week one, everything that you need to do is outlined there. So all you have to do is go right down the line and make sure that you've done everything that you can do in that week of work. So if I click on week one lecture videos and presentations, I will find slides, right? You can't see them on mine right now, but PowerPoint slides will be there, instructor videos will be there. If it is a discussion and you click on it, anything that you need to watch, anything that you need to read is posted there. And then all you have to do is click on the discussion topic, and it will take you right to the discussion board for you to be able to do the discussions. If you want to go right to the discussions and skip all the other things, there is the discussion tab. So if you were to click on the discussion tab, scroll down, you'll find the area where you'll be talking to your groups under group discussions. And then you see the required discussion posts will be there as well. So you can just click right on them, add your thread, add your comments to other people's threads as well. Then when the time comes for you to hand in the wrap-up assignment, there will be a Dropbox for that, which you would find in the Dropbox. And then any quizzes that you have, you will find under the quizzes tab. So quiz number 1 would be there. And then grades will tell you the overall grade that you have in D2L. So I have to go in and grade discussion boards manually. Hopefully with the summer, I'll have more time to be able to do that as quickly as possible because the class moves fast. Quizzes are graded automatically. So you will know as soon as you're done what the grade was on the quiz. Quizzes will be mostly like multiple choice, true, false types of questions, things that can be graded automatically. The next thing is a class list, which you would have. And this is if you need to email someone directly from the class, maybe a group member who you're worried about, maybe they're not really participating and you want to reach out to them before you reach out to me, you'd be able to find them on the class list and be able to do that. If you have any concerns, if you're worried about any of your group members you haven't heard from, you're always welcome to give me an email and I will just gently reach out to them and say, hey, are you still in the class? I mean, sometimes people's schedules change, life happens, things get busy. So I would say just, always feel free to reach out to me and I can gently reach out to them and just check to make sure that everything's okay. So with all of that said, I am looking forward to working with all of you during our class this twit summer semester, and hopefully you'll be able to take away a lot of information and maybe even be able to apply it to some of the things that you see happening in your own community right now. You don't have to wait until we graduate, we don't have to wait until, we're done with our education. We can do small things that can have a huge impact eventually. So talking about social problems really gets you into that mindset of observing the things around you and observing if there's anything that you can do to either help remedy the situation or to empower people who may find themselves in some of the situations that we talked about. So I look forward to reading your discussions and getting to know everyone that I haven't met yet, and also getting to reconnect with some students that I've seen before, and that's always exciting too. So I'll see everyone soon, and we will chat again in the next video. See you later.